All right, here we go again. It is another wonderful morning. I left work unexpectedly yesterday, and so I did not film a video on my way home. And I'm reaching a rather dangerous point now where I do feel like I'm catching up with myself. And I don't feel like I'm really cranking out videos to make up for it. Like, I have yet another vacation planned next week. And if I don't crank out some serious videos next week, then I will be in some major hot water. And the ideal situation, as I've got the whole week off, would be to spend just spend a day recording the content, just recording what I need to record, and then after that spend the rest of the week editing it, because I do have a pretty good stout amount of like actual video essays to make. So before these kind of videos that I was making more of an essay style video, and I still think there's a place on YouTube for that. There's a place on my channel for that, but it is not like those are the primary videos that I'm going to be making, especially while I'm still harboring this goal of 365 videos this year. And so what that means is these video essays, these more editing heavy videos that take a lot more of my time, I really need to like devote time outside of my regular day-to-day to get them done. And so this vacation would be perfect because I don't really have anything else planned. So I go out there, I record a bunch of videos, and then I spend the vacation editing them and getting them up and into the world. And then from there, it's really just a matter of just continuing to do what I do. And realistically speaking, like, those videos aren't going to put me super far ahead of the 8 ball, because during a regular week, I should at the very least film 10 videos. I get one video for, I'm looking for here, I get one video on the way to work, one video on the way home from work. And so anytime that I'm maintaining my regular work schedule, I should at least get 10 videos. I really wanted to get 14 and record 2 every weekend as well, but that has just not been happening. It's not been really feasible. And so because of that, I have more or less just settled with 10 videos a week. And then, but there's days that I don't record. Yesterday I didn't record. What was I doing instead of recording yesterday? Oh, I went home unexpectedly, and so I just popped in music and just did my thing. But that is like the reality of things, and the more in which I try and control these things that I do, the more in which I try and really crank these videos out, the more difficult it becomes. And I knew that was going to be the case. Like, I'm not kidding anyone when I said that I knew. That's why I started recording videos as early as November of last year, because I knew that I wanted to be pretty well ahead of schedule and have a pretty massive backlog of videos in order to stay ahead of the game. And like, to my credit, I have managed to stay at least a month ahead. I'm probably a little bit over, but like, when you consider like walking into January, I was 2 months ahead. And so I've lost an entire month in the time in which I have done things. And I don't really, it's not that I don't know how to gain time, it's that I've just not dedicated myself to trying to gain time back per se. And so that has a lot to do with it as well. Like, I'm not getting any of that time back that I had lost, and there was a lot of time lost. And so I don't know, it's interesting to me because of how different the this medium is and the frequency in which I upload. I finally caught up with my upload schedule, but like in the grand scheme of things, these glasses are like really tight on my face, which is fine, except for like whenever I need to like itch my face or my eyes or whatever, it's very difficult to do so. Anyway, it's interesting to me to see how this goes and see how this grows and all that fun stuff. And I need to stick to it. I can't just say, okay, it's a year, I've uploaded 365 videos and I didn't do what I wanted to do with this project and move on. Like, that's part of my problem as a creator, is I don't stick to projects long enough for them to become fruitful for me. And we live in this instant gratification culture right now, and you find all these random people on social media with all these followers, and you feel like they just popped in one day and were like, all right, we're gonna get followers now, and then they just did. And like, I think we're all aware that that's not the reality, though it feels like the reality. It's the perception of reality. And it's that perception that really kind of gets us in kind of a bad way, because we perceive all of these things about what should happen, and then when we go and pursue those things, we realize that that's not the reality of what happens, and now we're stuck in this lame situation because of it. And so, like, there's this YouTuber that I follow that I didn't realize this until so I worked with this YouTuber on a writing project at one point in time, and I didn't realize it until then, because I think the project that I worked with him on was in 2022. But I can remember watching his videos when I worked evenings at the hospital. I would sit down and I would eat my lunch and I'd turn on one of his videos. And that was, so I started evenings December of 2018, and I ran the evening shift until 2021. So I would say it's probably around 2019 when I found his videos more properly. But like, it's 2019, and I'm just now working with him 3 years later. 3 years later. And then here we are now in 2024, 2 years after that, and he's still kind of finding himself on that platform. Like, he's got a much more substantial following than I do, and he gets consistent views like in the thousands, which is good, but he has not blown up into this major platform on YouTube where people like come to his station to see what's going on. And to the same end, I've seen other people, like I go back to Dry Creek Wrangler School pretty frequently and talk about them and their success. And I feel like they've only been at it for like 2 years or so, and they're already hitting the 1 million mark on their subscriber count. And that's huge. It's weird that we live in a place now with YouTube where 1 million, albeit still a huge number, is not as impressive of a number as it used to be, because like now your successful accounts are getting tens of millions of subscribers, and it's like 1 million subscribers is no number to laugh at. And like, realistically speaking, when I crunch the numbers for like independent novels and things of that nature, like, they're looking at tens of thousands. They're like, okay, if you can amass about 10,000 like legit readers, you'll probably be fine as an independent author. And the same is to be said with independent, or not independent, but like with creators, but their numbers are much larger. Like if I got consistently 10,000 views, 10,000 decently long views on my content on a regular basis, like, is that good? Is that bad? Like, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't feel that great, because like, I watch like Sam Sulek, and that dude gets like hundreds of thousands within like the first hour, I feel like. And so it's like, how do you become a personality like that? Become somebody that can captivate the audience and can keep them going. And I think a good chunk of it is like the personality, being a personality online. And I remember quite some time ago, I had a video that got more attention than most of my other videos, and somebody was commenting on it, and they were just like, most people are destined to have a day job. They're not destined to do something on YouTube. And he's like, you are not particularly captivating. And that stuck with me, because I can't deny it. Like, I don't necessarily disagree with him. To the same end, like, I don't know that I want and or need to put on this major, extravagant personality for the sake of this person either, though. Like, that's not what I want. And so it's tough for me to figure out what I want and to captivate what I want and to get what I want. But like, you have to do it on your own terms as well, because if you fold and just do what everyone else is doing, then you just get lost in the shuffle, and you need to find a way to stand out. The people who have their biggest impact on society are the ones who stand out. They're not the ones who just write something that's just good enough. And you think about all the people who follow trends instead of setting their own. Like when Twilight came out, Twilight took over the reading world by storm. It was one of the most recent, well, not so much anymore, it's relatively old, but at the time it was a recent book that was getting a whole heck of a lot of attention. It almost immediately got movie deals. It was doing so incredibly well for itself. And I think it's important to note that it was not I'm sure it wasn't the first book to feature like a love triangle between vampires and werewolves and human people, but it was most certainly the first one to gain that level of exposure and popularity. And what it did is it spawned a whole bunch of copycat material. There's so many other books and material coming out around that time that was just basically copycatting Twilight. And to a degree, I'm sure they shared their fair share of success just because the readership was there and they wanted to read more. But here we are 10 probably plus years later, I don't know how long it's been, but at least 10 years later, and the only book that people remember is Twilight, the one that started it all. And so, as nice as it is to jump on some sort of train and to follow it, it's even nicer to like set your own train up and make your own thing of it. And I hope and wish that I can do my own thing on this channel and that's part of the reason why I don't want to take Compression Man off of here, because I really do like the idea of it being a variety channel. Like, you come to my channel and you watch what you want to watch from it, and if you aren't abundantly satisfied, or if it's too confusing or hard to navigate, then I have playlists for that. And that's the idea, is like, my YouTube channel is my platform, and then the playlists serve as different channels within that platform. If you imagine my YouTube channel as like a cable service or a streaming service, and then you imagine my channels as like the actual different like products that are on it, or the different shows that are on it, and that's kind of how I want it to be viewed. What does it mean? It means that if you're just blindly looking through my channel for something, it's going to be difficult to find it. You're going to have to sift through 365 days of these kind of videos to find anything that's a little different. But they're out there, and they're out there in substantial chunks as well. Like, I do have a good chunk of music videos under my belt at this point. I've got an entire audiobook on this channel. Maybe we'll be doing that again. And, let's see, what else? Compression Man. I've got an episode of Compression Man up. And so it's just interesting to me to see that, and to like hopefully actually be able to capitalize on that and be like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna be someone who just focuses on one thing. But like, to the same end, if you're trying to do that, you're working against the algorithm, and like the algorithm is trying to find you an audience, and it can't do that if it doesn't even know what you make, or if it doesn't understand what you make. It's like, oh, all of these videos pertain to that, but all of these videos do not pertain to that. And so it gets confused. And like, it should be now at a point to where I've uploaded enough videos in this style that it should have it pretty well pegged down. But my retention remains low as ever. And like, even the videos that people watch more of than others, they're still watching like a small fraction of the video. Like, even some of the videos that are very short, like my most viewed video is like a 40-second clip of garbage from Life is Strange, and people don't even watch that all the way through. And it's like, people's attention spans are what everyone's fighting over these days, and they are harder than ever to acquire. And it's because it's like media overload. Before the internet, like, it was relatively difficult to find something to watch or to consume product wise, and now with the internet here, it's unlimited. Like, there is more content on YouTube already, and it's only, so it's what, maybe a 15-year-old platform now, but when you consider other things of similar age, it's already got multiple lifetimes worth of content on it. Like, you cannot watch everything on YouTube ever. That's not going to be feasible. But it would be interesting. I think about doing all sorts of weird things sometimes, but it would be interesting to like start a channel and just be like, I'm just going to watch a random YouTube video every day and see how many YouTube videos I can get through in my lifetime. But as much fun as that would be, you'd have to do more than one a day, because that's not going to be a whole lot of videos. And then like trying to figure out like the fraction of videos that you've seen as opposed to all the videos that are on the internet. But anyway, it has been a full and wonderful ride. I hope you guys like my new sunglasses. Every time I look at them in this viewfinder, I'm like, yeah, you look sharp. Anyway, thank you for stopping by, and we'll do it again next time.